Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. So for my regular followers, this pick a card reading is for the week of the 18th to the 24th of September. For those of you that just stumble across my readings every now and again, or that have just stumbled across this particular reading, just know that there's a message in here for you. The messages are timeless. But I do date stamp them for my regular listeners, just so that it's easier for them to follow through. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get started. Hello everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. We have the lepidolite for pole number 1. We have the blue quartz for pole number 2. We have the serpentine for pole number 3, and we have the zebra agate for pole number 4. So we have purple, blue, green and black and white. Feel free to select as many poles as you feel drawn to. Select a pole by pole number, by crystal. Just allow your intuition to guide you. Just trust that there's a message in the pole that you select for you. And I feel called to say as well, if the message doesn't resonate now, remember our timelines are all different, our paths are all different. Maybe come back to it, or maybe you might find in the following weeks it might make better sense to you. So just bear that in mind. I'll see you in your reading. Hello pole number 1, welcome my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have transform your relationships. Actually, sorry, Spirit's just said that I need to pull them out this way. Okay, so the order is very important. So we've got King of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Emperor. Your overall message, we have balance your worlds, big projects ahead. And we have the work is done, it's time for rest. We have uncover the treasures of your hidden heart and transform your relationships. Okay, pole number 1. Just grabbing the energy from Spirit and just checking to see where to start. Okay. So we've got this. So your first overall energy is balance your worlds, big projects ahead. Now I'm just going to pause the video. I'm just going to see if I can get that to just be a little bit more clear. Okay, sorry about that pole number 1. I'm not sure if it's any better, but let's keep going. Okay, so we have balance your worlds, big projects ahead. Time is on my side. I have all the space I need. I find this energy really quite interesting for you, pole number 1. What an interesting energy to start with as well. It says balance your worlds. Now, Spirit's just said to me that's going to mean something different for each and every one of you, because our worlds are different, aren't they? We might have a world that encompasses work and family. We might have a world that is, you know, our career, our business. We might have a world that is our community. We might have a world that is building a family. We might have a world that's building a romantic relationship. So our worlds are all different, and the importance on our world is different. There is an energy here of being mindful of what you give your energy to. And is it what you want in your world? Like, are you giving your energy to an area of your life that you want to see grow and flourish? Or have you gotten out of balance, and therefore the energy is, you know, one of, gosh, why am I doing this? There's Spirit saying to me there's a realization that's going to happen here. There's a story that's going to unfold. There's an understanding that's coming through. This is very interesting energy. Pole number one. This is telling me that it's like you're weaving your life. You're weaving it into existence. There's going to be big projects ahead. Some of you might be renovating. Some of you might be creating a family, starting a new business. I feel that there's big changes. And there's an area here that Spirit is saying, time is on my side. I have all the space I need. If things are not moving, and sometimes, you know, we're all got different personalities and things, sometimes things don't move fast enough for us. But there's a sense here that, wait, there's more information coming, there's more balance coming. As the projects unfold, as you move forward, I feel like the projects are going to become bigger. I think your dream is going to become bigger. Now, very interestingly, Spirit keeps calling me back to the crow. The crow that sits on this dollhouse. Crows, whether you like them or not, they're super intelligent birds. And they teach their young. I remember reading like an article on them, and they actually have a facial recognition. They can actually recognize people. And they teach their young. They teach their young that this house, don't go there. It has people that, you know, throw stones or shoo you away. They teach their young the road. And, you know, it's very, I live in Australia, and it's very unusual to see an adult crow that's been hit by a car. Sometimes the young might, because they're still learning. but they're just intelligent, and that intelligence is passed down to their young. And I feel Spirit's drawing me to say that because you're going to download information. Information is going to be passed down to you. So that can be just sudden ideas that come out of nowhere. That can be, you know, people giving you these great ideas, or you might be talking to people and they might go, oh, have you ever thought about this? And suddenly your world grows, your ability to grow your world grows, increases. This balance your worlds at the beginning, I feel it's Spirit saying to you, know what you want. Balance where you want to put your energy. Now you have time and you have space. So take that time, take that space. Now by space, Spirit just said to me, what Spirit means by space is the fact that you have room to grow. You have room to expand. There's room in your dreams to make them bigger. I'm really getting this sense of, you know, it says big projects ahead, and I think they're bigger than what you initially planned. Time is on my side and I have all the space I need. That's going to be really important this week, pole number 1. Now, very interestingly enough, your other overall energy is the work is done. It's time for rest. I release the seeds and trust the spring to come. Brings me back to this balance your worlds, this idea of don't move too fast. Big projects ahead, they're coming. The doing time is coming. But right now, the work is done and it's time for rest. Now, the work is not like done for you, but you've gotten as far as you can. And what Spirit's asking me to explain that. And what Spirit means by that is that you've gotten to the next, say, checkpoint, if you like, for want of a better way of explaining it. And it is time to sit and contemplate, right, am I still on my path? Am I still on the path I want to be on? There's this energy of planning. There's this energy of taking a moment to reevaluate. Remember, you're going to get these ideas or these downloads. Your dreams are going to expand. It says, I release the seeds and trust the spring to come. You've sown what you need to sow for the moment. Now sit back and look at what grows. Sit back and look at what sprouts. You know, and I'm just getting this, listen to what others, to the advice of others. Now, Spirit is really adamant here and saying to me, just because you listen to somebody, it doesn't mean you have to do what they say. The listening is important, not the doing part of that. When we listen to others, we gather information. Some of the information we use, some of it we discard. That's up to us. But there's this sense of gathering information, gathering insight, gathering ideas. Because the spring's coming, big projects ahead. And I almost feel like in this analogy with I release the seeds and trust the spring to come, Feel like spring is going to be a busy time. You might be transplanting things. You know, there'll be a lot of watering and fertilizing, and there'll be a lot of doing when the spring comes. So right now, rest, gather that energy and that insight for what's coming. Both these people, you know, there's a child here, and actually I like this because I'm looking at sort of the white hair and I'm seeing sort of an older person, and then there's a child here. And I feel that's kind of saying from this point to this point, there's been so much growth, there's been so much learning. There's an aspect of, you know, if you're over 18, if you're here, because I don't do these readings for children, but this is kind of, I'm almost kind of seeing like, this is how we play now. This is how you play now, pole number 1. You might not physically have toys, but you sit and you dream a world into being. There's a sense of daydream, imagination. And children use their imagination. I mean, they do just daydream, but they use their imagination with what's around them. You know, they could see a stick that looks like an animal and they'll play with that stick as if it was the animal. They make believe with what's around them. And I feel as adults that often transforms, doesn't it? But we make believe with just the images in our mind sometimes, and Spirit's saying that's enough. There's this energy here of quiet contemplation. There's this energy here of being surrounded by beauty. Now that doesn't need to be in your physical world. It's almost like you've got a lot of swords here. It's like saying, fill your mind with beautiful things, beautiful thoughts. It's almost like you're at that stage of dreaming your world into being, pole number 1. So what are you dreaming about? Gosh, thank you, Spirit. That's wonderful. What are you dreaming about? Now, Spirit's calling me to the tarot, and we'll come back to the additional messages with the oracle. Now, you've got 2 swords, and interestingly enough, you've got the king and then you've got the page. Now, in the story of the court cards, the page comes first, then the knight, then the queen, and then the king. So you've got it started at different, back the front almost. But Spirit's saying there's a reason why. So Spirit's saying these 2 cards are connected and to be read together. So I'm going to do that now. The King of Swords has been through the journey of the court cards. So he's learned what he needed to learn. He's got wisdom, he's got clarity, he's got ideas. And he's gained those along the journey. At each stage of the journey, he's learnt more. Now the kings for me, because they're in this place of power, and by what Spirit's saying to me, explain it. So what I mean by power is, it's a place of knowing. It's a place of I want to say like being an expert. It's not that you're an expert in everything, but there's lessons and learning, and you've gotten to a certain point in your journey. Remember, the king is the last of the court cards. And with the King of Swords, the sword is truth. It's alignment. It's your mind, it's your intellect, it's wisdom, it's knowledge, it's ideas. I'm not sure if I said clarity, but it's clarity. And there's a sense here that you sit in the knowing. And I feel that that's this imagination, that's this daydreaming, that's this looking at what you've created so far and going, where can I take that? Can I take that further? There's a sense with the king of kind of like, I just see like a mind expanding. Spirit saying, expand your mind behind the limits that you place on it. So some of you, pole number 1, might be feeling limited. It says here, time is on my side. I have all the space I need. And some of you might not feel that. Some of you might be feeling quite limited. And the King of Swords is here almost to say, you know what, you've got everything. You do have everything you need. The King is that energy of giving back. It's when we become of service because we've learned our craft, we've mastered our jobs. It's when we really can give back in whatever way that is. And there's a sense here that you may not realize how much you know, pole number 1. You may not realize how far you've come. And there's a sense here of stretch your mind further. Stretch your mind further. And this Page of Swords is, once you stretch, this is your imagination. This is this creating beautiful images of your future. Because you're not there yet, pole number 1. That's not the impression I get. You are. It's when I thank you, Spirit. Spirit's saying, oh, be careful. When I say you're not there yet, Spirit doesn't want you to think that there's a final destination. Okay, there never is, because we finish one journey and it rolls on to another, exactly like this here. There's a certain level of understanding that's coming. There's this imagination that's expanding. You're actually coming to a point where you can see how you can expand your world. How your world is actually so much bigger than you imagined it. Opportunities are so much grander than you ever thought would be available to you. And this understanding ends a journey and puts you on a new one. And that's why you've got the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. Spirit wants you to know, with the King of Swords, pole number 1, you've got what it takes. Allow that imagination of yours to go crazy. Like I'm talking, plant everything. And when I mean that, I mean plant those dreams in your mind, like plant them in your imagination first. If you can dream them, there's a good possibility that you can build it. You know, I often say, you know, back in the, let's say the olden days, I don't know my years, my history very well, but the thought of flying would have been ridiculous. And yet here we are, we think nothing of it. Nothing of it. We jump on a plane as if we're jumping on a bus. Back in the day, gosh, we fly now like people walked. You know, we fly like people rode a horse, or a horse and cart kind of thing. So at one stage, dreams do seem silly. And we need to be careful when we share those dreams, because they're our dreams, so they can be silly to other people. Other people can maybe just see the, how you're going to do that. How. And Spirit's saying, don't worry about the how. Dream it. And then the Page comes in, dream it and plan it. The page is that new energy. So the page has accepted, the page has seen the opportunity in the Ace of Swords, so the aces. And the aces are a gift from the universe. And the Ace of Swords is a gift of clarity, it's a gift of knowledge, it's a gift of ideas. And it's that air energy. So it grows. You know, you put air in a balloon, it grows. You know, air, you can't see it, but it fills a space. And that's like, you can't see how you're going to do this yet, pole number 1. But dream it. And there's this sense here of go beyond it. There really is a sense here of go beyond the limits that your logic, thank you Spirit, that's so perfect. Go beyond the limits that your logic has placed on you. Because this Page of Swords sees the possibilities. This Page of Swords has the curiosity to go, what if? Instead of how, the pages ask themselves, what if? What if this came true? What would I be like? What would I be doing? What would my life look like? What if? I don't think we ask ourselves that enough. We're very, very good at going, how am I going to do that? What about asking yourself, pole number 1, what if I did that? Then what? There's this, I keep coming back to dream, like let your imagination guide you. Let your imagination fuel you this week, pole number 1. You know, this child is playing with her dollhouse. Now she's imagining herself in the adult world. Now there's a sense here of what would this child know about the adult world? Now, you try telling a child you don't know anything about the adult world, you can't pretend to be an adult. They'll be like, yes, I do. And they'll go off and list a whole bunch of things. And you kind of think to yourself, well, that's an ideal life, or that's, gosh. But that's how we manifest. We don't need to know the nitty-gritty. In fact, sometimes not knowing is what enables us to take that leap of faith. There's a place for research, absolutely, but there's also a place of just throw yourself in and see how it feels. Thank you, Spirit. We have an imagination for a reason. Now, a lot of us believe that imagination is just a way of tuning out of life, a way like an escapism. We escape from our day-to-day grind. And it's viewed a little bit in the negative. But our imagination builds our future. And our imagination shows us what's important to us. It shows us if you just go into a daydream for no particular reason, just to daydream, do you daydream about living in this exotic country? Do you daydream about finding the most amazing romantic relationship? Do you dream of partying with groups of friends and having this amazing social life? Do you dream of being at the top of your career? Do you dream of a business that is doing $1 million turnovers? Do you dream of travel and luxury? Do you dream of living sustainably in harmony with nature? Our dreams, when they're not censored, they are one of the best ways to guide us to our values. What do we value? If there was no obstacles in front of us, if we had a genie in front of us that said, what life would you like? And then we had time to just daydream, just go way out there. What would you like? Really, really shows us what we value. And nothing is of no value, because as individuals we each value different things. You know, society tells us that there's a group of values we should have, and I can tell you, poll number 1, that is completely and utterly false. That is I was going to get annoyed then, but then Spirit said, come, because it's something that makes me really cranky. Because, you know, somebody might value money, and we might think, oh gosh, you know, they're not very kind, or, you know, they mustn't be a very evolved human being to value money. Why? Money's energy. Money is an exchange of energy. Love is an exchange of energy. Compassion is an exchange of energy. How is it different? Okay. Okay, Spirit said we're going to leave it there because I get carried away if not. But thank you, Spirit. Spirit's saying, yep, you've got the message. So coming back to this Page of Swords, get curious. Bring your imagination to the forefront. And then the last of your tarot cards is the Emperor. Now, not only is the Emperor a major arcana, so this is Spirit, the way Spirit guides us and helps us on our journey. It's how Spirit co-creates with us and the part that Spirit plays in our life. And the Emperor is really sitting in your power. You are going to be surprised, poll number 1, how using your imagination is going to empower you. And I feel it's those limits that your mind, your upbringing, society has placed on you. And that's not blame, that's just awareness. And because we take it on board, so we accept those conditions that are placed on us, that conditioning that is placed on us, and then we need to unravel that and let that fall away. And I feel that's what you're doing, poll number 1, because I really feel with the Emperor here, there's a sense that you come into this understanding of exactly what drives you, exactly what you want in your life. What do you want to see come true? What direction do you want your life to go in? And I think it's these values again, because I got that message really strongly. When we discover our true values, It's amazing how much we grow. Now, there's no, like, I'm not affiliated with it at all, or I don't get any. This is just a set of cards which unfortunately I put into storage because I'm house sitting at the moment. But Teal Swan does a deck of cards, oracle cards, and I can't remember what the deck is called, but it is all about values. Each card is a different value with an explanation on it, and I think there's something like 250 cards. Now, when I was looking into my own values and trying to understand them, I kept listing the values that society and my family felt were important. And I kept thinking, oh, well, I don't know why I'm being drawn to look at values. There's really not that many of them, and we pretty much all have the same if we want to be a good person in society. And when I actually went online and started Googling different values, and her deck of cards came up. And when I saw how many cards were in the deck, I literally lost my mind. Like, I literally went, what? And I purchased the deck, and I spent over a month, maybe close to 2 months, sitting on the floor with these cards and putting them into piles. Important, maybe not really that important to me. And I was astounded. And I kept doing that until I got my top 10. I cannot tell you, pole number 1, how difficult that was. I highly, highly recommend those cards, because once, like now that I've got my 10, I mean, I don't have them with me, but that was over a year ago that I did that. I would love to have those cards now, and I'd love to see if they still resonate, because I've changed and I've grown and I've evolved. I've had different experiences that I'm pretty certain that they won't be the same. Check out her deck. That, I'm sorry that I just can't remember what it's called, but it's amazing. Do you know what? If I remember, I'll Google it, and I'll attach a link up here to her deck if I remember, my friends. But very, very worth having. They're not cheap, but oh my gosh, what an invaluable tool. That's what you're coming into. And then pole number 1, you've got uncover the treasures of your hidden heart. A rich bounty awaits. And I love when the cards just, they give the same message in a different way. And uncover the treasures of your hidden heart. This is your daydreams. Your daydreams guide you to what's in your heart, to where your soul is leading you. And you are uncovering this. And you know, I see this as an eyeball. I see that as that looks like an eyeball to me. And I feel like you're going to be seeing not only where you might place limits on yourself, but where you don't dare to dream. There is, like, you've got big projects ahead. You've got, I release the seeds and trust the spring to come. So spring is bountiful. And then you've got a rich bounty awaits. You won't be disappointed, pole number 1. That's what I feel like Spirit is saying. You won't be disappointed. Trust in those harebrained ideas that pop into your head. Trust in those notions that you're kind of like, what? And don't ask how. Ask what if. What if I did that? What would my world look like? And we end your reading, pole number 1, with transform your relationships, move on and move up. And I think this is could definitely be your relationships with others. And I see the red rose here, so it could very much be guiding you towards a romantic relationship. This can also be, if you're single, allow yourself to dream beyond. Don't limit what you think your partner should be or could be. Go beyond that. But I'm also seeing this as move on and move up. It's like you're moving on from limiting beliefs and you're moving up. And when we move up, we vibrate higher, we get a different perspective. And when we move up, we expand. We see more possibility. We embrace more possibilities. And you're transforming your relationship with yourself. You're transforming your relationship with your values. I think your values, pole number 1, is hugely important, because I feel that as you imagine, as you transform, as you start looking into the hidden treasures of your heart, I feel that that's going to make you realize, wow, I really value this. I really value that. And it just transforms not only you, but I feel like it transforms relationships. Those that are not meant to be, I think, will move on, they'll fall away. But those that are, this red rose, not just romantic love, but just that red in color, I feel like it will deepen. It will expand and open and deepen, become more fragrant, become more beautiful. Those are the messages, pole number 1, that I have for you this week. Sending you so much love, light and blessings. Have a wonderful week and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you. We have Temperance, we have Judgment, and we have the 6 of Swords. As your overall energy, we have good things to come. And we have pause, listen, and appreciate the magic of the moment. We have think before you speak and discover new ways of thinking. Look at the yellow. Thinking. That's interesting energy, pole number 2. And do you know what? Spirit is calling me to these additional messages first. So we're going to start here. Now it says, think before you speak. Be exacting. And what does that mean, be exacting? It means there's a level here of be truthful. But there's a level here, like when I say be truthful, I mean be honest. There's a level here as well. It's really like Spirit is saying to me, don't say things that you don't mean. So it's not that you're lying. It's not that you're being dishonest, pole number 2, but you might just agree with the group. Or you might just say things because you know they're going to be well received, but it's not really you. This is your solar plex. Yellow is your solar plex. And yellow is joy. Yellow is the color for joy. If you had to put one word to the color yellow, it would be joy. It's also, it encourages open communication, and it's happiness as well. Like it is a very, you know, they used to say, you know, if you want joyful communication, paint the room yellow, put yellow in the room. there's a sense here with that solar plex energy of coming into your power. And what that means for you, pole number 2, is saying what you think. It's being true to yourself. And it's not at the expense of others. You know, I'm not gonna get it right, but there's a thing, it's like a little quote, if you like, that says, before you speak, is it truthful? Is it necessary? Like, is it helpful? Is it kind? And there's a few more, I think there's 5. And there's a sense here of, you know, is it kind? Well, if it isn't, is there a need to say it? You know, if there's a need to say it, say it. But if it's just to speak, hold your tongue. We speak so much more than we need to. And Spirit just said to me, the reason why we do that is because we don't say what we really want to say. So let's look at a friendship, 2 friends. And one friend said something that offended the other, and they didn't realize. Now, the friend that's been offended, rather than saying, why did you say that? Oh gosh, that hurt me so much. Opening the conversation for the other friend to go, well, look, you know, it's true. I didn't need to say it that way, but it is true. Or to say, oh, I'm so sorry, that just came out so wrong. That's actually not what I wanted to say. That friend that's been offended, generally the way we do it is then we try to offend the person that has offended us. And it creates this mess. Spirit's just showing me a kitchen that's just somebody's been cooking in, and there's mess everywhere. And we walk around so wounded. And Spirit's saying that like 99.9% of the time there was no need for that if we had said how we felt. Just honestly, not as an attack back, but just to say, oh, wow, that comment's really hurt me. And then, you know, your friend might say, do you know what, I'm really sorry, but I think you needed to hear it. And then you might go, wow, is that what you think of me? And it's like, no, but that's what you're doing. Do you know? And there's, when we're honest, when we use conversation in its purest form, there is so much that we learn from it. There is so much insight into it. But a lot of the time we just use it to fill a void. We use it to feel uncomfortable silence. We use it to feel intelligent or to feel funny or, gosh, Spirit's just said to me, gosh, a million different ways. So there's a sense in your reading, pole number 2, is speak from your heart. And really ask yourself, why do you feel the need to say what you're going to say? A big message there. Now, interestingly enough, we've got discover new ways of thinking, open your mind. This looking at how you communicate, think before you speak is really going to, I was going to say it's really going to change things, but Spirit's saying to me it's really going to change you. And when you change, your world around you changes. It says here, open your mind. And I feel that when we're asked to open our mind, I feel like our thoughts limit us. That's Spirit's way of saying you're limiting yourself in some way. Just got Spirit said for some of you, you need to change your mind about something. Spirit saying there's something that you don't see quite clearly yet, but the clarity will come. And it's almost like if you can tell yourself, pole number 2, okay, I see that situation very one-dimensional. I can't see all perspectives. I'm just going to let it unfold, let it be. Just accept it and not try to change it, and I'm going to see what happens. I think something's really going to amaze you. Like, because I'm just getting, I don't know if you ever say that to yourself, pile number 2, but I say that to myself. It's like, my brain just popped. It was like that light globe moment, that aha. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, how could I not see that before? And Spirit's saying, don't get stuck on that energy. We're just saying that to show you how much this moment transforms you. Because I feel like it has a knock-on effect. Remember, this is your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is your power. It's the seat of your confidence, the seat of your power, the seat of your uniqueness. And it's how you shine that out into the world. Spirit's drawing me to say the solar plexus is ruled by Leo, and Leo's ruler is the sun. And there's an aspect, like you've got 2 solar plex cards here. And I'm really, really being drawn to the yellow. And it's like you're going to get to a point where you speak your truth. You shine your authenticity. And you're not shoving that down people's throats, is what Spirit's saying to me. You're not making people go, that's what you need to believe. I need to be right. It's not that at all. It's just this beautiful shining. And there's real transformation. I feel like this changes the way not only that you see yourself, but this changes the way you see others, and this changes the way you see your world, your life. Now let's have a look at your overall energy. Your first overall energy is good things to come. I give thanks for all I have and all that awaits. Look at this crystal ball. There's a knowing. There's a knowing in you. It's like you feel yourself tapping into your inner power, your inner light, your inner authenticity. And you're so grateful. It says, I give thanks for all that, I give thanks for all I have and all that awaits. You know that what you've got now, there's so much more coming. There's this expansion. I just got goosebumps all over pole number 2. There's this expansion coming, And if you have ever thought this is as good as it gets, watch out, my friends. Spirit just said to me, you ain't seen nothing yet. My gosh, if you think this is all that there is, you're in for quite a surprise, pole number 2. Actually, you know, Spirit's just called me to the blue quartz. You know, blue is your throat chakra. And your throat chakra is actually linked to not only speaking, but to listening. And look at these. Think before you speak, discover new ways of thinking. There's really something in what you say, what you think, and what you hear. Your other overall energy is pause, listen, and appreciate the magic of the moment. And the affirmation is, it's the right time and the right place. Lucky me. And I really feel that. Gosh, I just saw this moon and I thought, gosh, that's like a crystal ball here. You're drawing to you what you need. This is a hare, and the hare and the rabbits, they signify abundance and like coming fast. You know, rabbits and hares breed very quickly. I don't know how fast they double their population, but it's quite incredible. And there's this sense here of, I just feel that once you tap in, thank you, Spirit. Spirit's just said, I was going to say, once you tap into your solar plex and you open up and you discover your authentic self and your true power and what that means, prosperity's coming. Like it's just going to knock on your door. And I'm getting the word instant. Abundance is just going to flow to you, whatever abundance means to you. And Spirit said to me as well, pole number 2, do every meditation that you find to do with your solar plex. Spirit's also saying, do your sacral and do your heart. Some of you may need to do your throat, but start with your solar plex. Do the ones that are closest to it, which is your sacral and your heart. If you're finding that you're having trouble saying your truth, do your throat chakra, and then concentrate on doing meditations that align all of them. Because the more aligned you are, and I feel that the pathway to that is your thoughts and what you say, not only what you say to others, but what you say to yourself as well, pole number 2. Thank you, Spirit. That's so important. Not just what you're saying to others. What are you saying to yourself? Listen to that. There's a sense that the way to this understanding, the way to your inner power and the way to become authentically aligned, for you, I think balancing your chakras is going to be a huge benefit to you. I feel like that's the path. Okay, so that's a very clear message from Spirit. And you know, I don't often, I mean, I guess I do talk about what you can do, but this Spirit saying, like, is adamant. Like I'm just seeing meditation in the morning, meditation in the evening. Whenever you feel rattled, do a meditation. There's a lot of free apps out there. I know for me, I use the Inside Timer. It's free. It's got thousands. And you can actually put in a search and just put in chakras, and then they'll all come up. And there's some truly, truly beautiful ones. Sorry, I'm just going to say ones that I listen to, but it might not resonate. There's a beautiful a man from California, and his name's David G. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's on Inside Timer, and he does meditations for your chakras, and there's one that balances all of them, and they're very beautiful. But find one that you align with. But that's really important. Gosh, pole number 2, things are gonna move so fast, and it's like good things to come. It's the right time and the right place. Lucky me. Pause, listen, and appreciate the magic of the moment, because there's magic in your life. Oh, pole number 2, is there magic in your life? And you might be sitting there going, no, there isn't. Wait, trust. And there's a bit of work to do. We've got temperance here, and I feel that temperance is, I like in fact that there's these 2 major arcanas and then the minor arcana. It's almost like Spirit saying to you, pole number 2, this week we're here. We are going to help you. We are going to show you. Trust. You might get triggered a fair bit this week, pole number 2. That's a way of Spirit kind of going. You might think, oh my gosh, everybody's gone mad. People are just saying horrible things, or people are just annoying, or situations are not working out. There's a sign in there for you. There's some information in it. Forget about the trigger and look at, okay, then what information could Spirit be trying to send me? There's a lot of healing, and this is patience as well. Temperance is a card of patience. And this prosperity card says, pause, listen, and appreciate the magic of the moment. There is a sense of take a moment, be patient. You're on the path. And if you doubt that, pole number 2, don't. Temperance is here to say, there's this lovely balance coming your way. You know, you won't be too wet or too dry. You won't be too alone or too surrounded. You won't, there's this temperance, there's this balance coming in. And this is your guardian angel, whatever that means to you. Spirit, universe, God. This, your higher self even. And this is your guardian angel here going, come, I'm showing you the way. Your purpose, your goals and dreams, and they're aligned with the authentic you. Our our solar plex, when it's out of alignment, we don't know who we are or what we want. We don't feel inner power. We don't feel inner strength. You're being guided to that. Pole number 2, you're being guided to that. Spirit saying, do not doubt. And it's going to be, like I mentioned earlier, there could be some triggers and everything. But with this temperance energy, I feel like you're initially going to get jarred by it. But you're going to be in a calm enough space where you can actually take a step back and look at it for the value it's trying to bring you. And I say that as well because you've got Judgment. So again, another major arcana, pole number 2. So this is Spirit guiding you. This is how Spirit co-creates with us on our journey. It's the part that Spirit plays. And this Judgment, look at you, you've got your guardian angel again. You're completely guided through this. And you're being elevated. And what does that mean? Spirit says it means you come up and out of your past and you realize that your past experiences do not make who you are. They shape you, and how they shape you is up to you. If you hold on to the experience and you make that experience a part of you, that experience will shape you, and you will take that experience as a part of you. And we really don't want to do that. Judgment lifts us up out of that. Judgment helps us view the experience as something that happened to us, but it's not us. We don't become that thing. And the more we separate the experiences from who we are, the more we rise up. And rising up basically means you shed the cloak that experience covers you with for a while. Okay, you shake that off and go, you know what? I'm not really living that experience. That experience happened to me. But I'm not that person anymore. The past can't hurt us because it is forever no more. Like forever. The past can't come back and get you. Now, you're saying, oh my gosh, yes it can. And oh yes, I'll be the first to agree with that. But it's not the past that comes back and gets you, it's the memory of it. It's when we've made it a part of ourselves. When we've made it a part of who we are. If somebody said to me, who is Christelle? And I'm like, oh gosh, I was this in primary school and this happened and that happened. I am making the past part of me. I have taken that as my identity. The judgment card enables us to release that. It enables us to see, no, it's an experience. It's not me. It can't be me. If, let's say, for just an example, because Spirit's saying give an example. Okay, imagine that you were bullied as a child. Now, to take that and make that you, that means you have to be a bully. That means you are the act of bullying. You're not. You can't be, because bullying is a verb. It's an action. It's not a thing. Gosh, thank you, Spirit. That's actually a really good way of explaining it. Our experiences are actions. They're not a thing. They're actions, and we are a thing. We are solid matter. So we can't be an action. We can do an action, but we can't be an action. And that's what you're understanding. That's what you're rising above. That's where you're shedding. And it's not that you rise above. It's not that you become better than anybody else or anything. You just leave behind. The coffins here signify a past life. The past. And when the judgment comes, there's a certain sense here that you're being guided to look past your past experiences. Yes, they shape you. And they give you clarity and wisdom. Wow, do you know what? I was bullied. Gosh, I will never bully anybody. It's a horrible experience. Or I was bullied, but you know, eventually I stood up for myself. Wow, I'm courageous. I'm really strong, actually. You know, sometimes our experiences enable us to help others that have gone through or are going through that experience. Sometimes an experience purely just opens us up to be more compassionate, to be more loving. Every experience will have a different meaning behind it. Every experience will have, thank you Spirit, not a different meaning, a different knowing. It will have a different lesson. Thank you Spirit. And each lesson opens us up to greater wisdom, greater love and greater compassion for our flaws and those of others. We're all flawed, but we're all magnificent as well. And we end your reading, pole number 2, with the 6 of Swords. And this is moving on to calmer water. I think you're going to be absolutely astounded sorry, I got myself all tongue-tied there. I'm so excited for what I'm trying to say. When you put aside those past experiences, the peace, the way your life changes, the way you think differently about the world, about yourself, amazes you. You're just going to be like, oh my gosh. And in this space, Spirit is telling me nothing has changed yet. Your outer circumstances are still the same. The Swords is your mind. This is a journey where I'm really seeing in your reading, pole number 2, you're moving away from how you used to think, what you used to say, how these past experiences became your identity. And now that they're not your identity anymore, there's a freedom to move out of this emotional turmoil into something so much calmer. And there is knowledge, there's understanding, there's clarity, there's so much wisdom. And this change in you brings about the change in your life. Good things to come. It's the right time and the right place. Lucky me. Amazing reading, my friends. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 2. Love, light and blessings, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the World, we have the 7 of Pentacles, and we have the 2 of Cups. We have your overall energy is gifts being recognized. Oh, I love that. And we have insight brings good times and opportunities. We have create family balance, and we have speak with loving kindness. Look at the blues and the yellows. Oh, these cards are so beautiful. Their colors are so gorgeous. Okay, pole number 3. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you. So let's start with your overall energy. So your first overall energy, isn't this card beautiful? It says, gifts being recognized. I delight in my unique and blossoming talents. And you know, I'm seeing the owl here as wisdom. I'm seeing, I don't know if this is a dove or a peacock. I think it's a peacock because it seems to have this little bit of feathers at the back of its neck. So let's say it's a peacock. I'm seeing so much beauty. And the rabbit, so much abundance. There's wisdom, beauty, and abundance. And they come from your gifts. It's amazing, pole number 3, when we when we tap into our authenticity, and I know I talk about that a lot, when we tap into who we are, when we start to understand what is of value to us, what our values are, what our beliefs are, how we want to live our life, where we want to live our life, with whom, and what does that involve? What does, what do we want to see in our life? Spirit just said to me, do you know who you are? And then I got the words, get clear. Our soul whispers to us. And I feel that you've been hearing that, pole number 3. I feel that you've been hearing those whispers and you're not quite sure what it all means. You feel a little bit like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I don't know what I need to be doing. Do you know, pole number 3? It must be 3 years now that my lesson, my repeat lesson has been, you don't need to do anything. And I'm wondering if you're a little bit the same, where doing is really important to you. You feel unproductive, you feel lazy, or you feel that, oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything, I can't expect anything to happen, I'm not doing anything. And it's really difficult to come out of that space and allow space for just being. It's in that being, pole number 3, that really deep thought and understanding comes to us. Now, Spirit's just drawn my attention to your serpentine crystal. Now, the serpentine crystal, it's a crystal of like spiritual, exploring your spirituality, and also of meditation. How do we come to see and know who we are? It's by trial and error. It's by saying to yourself, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really truthful with myself. And then trying different things. And it doesn't necessarily mean even going out into the world and trying them. It can just be creating an imaginary space. See yourself doing that thing. And the honesty comes in, pole number 3, because, and this part can be quite challenging at first, but if you stick to it, it actually gets easier. You'll actually see, does that make me feel good? Because I know people are going to be like, wow, look at what she's doing, or look at what he's doing. Is it for the accolade of others, or the acceptance of others, or so that people have a good opinion of you, or so that people like you? Is it about others? Or is it something that makes your heart sing? Now, Spirit's saying it's challenging because sometimes things will make your heart sing, but you'll be afraid to do it. You'll be afraid to show that side of yourself. So the fear will kick in, And there'll be almost this sense of, oh, but. There'll be this sense of you're going to go and grab it and then you quickly pull away. Be mindful of that, because that will show you where something does resonate with you, but there is opening up and acceptance of yourself that needs to come into play first before you can go out and do that. So let me give you an example. Spirit's saying to give you an example, and I'm going to give you something really, really basic, something really that it is very light, but still can be quite meaningful. Okay, so you've started to change and you can feel that you're changing, and you look at your clothes and you think, oh, it's not really me. And then you notice that when you're out in the street, you notice people that are in bright colors, that are flamboyant, and you just look at them and think, wow. And when you go to shops, you go for those bright items and then you quickly go, oh God, no, that's not me. Oh gosh. So that's not to say it's not you. It might not be you. That might just be something that you admire in others, but it's not really you. But it could also be there's a fear in you of being seen. Or there's a fear in you of being flamboyant, showing your flair, showing your exuberance, or whatever it is. And so Spirit's saying to me, sometimes you will think it's not you because you pull away, but it's very, very important that you look at why you're pulling away. Gosh, there's big message there. You're recognizing who you are. You're recognizing, it says, I delight in my unique and blossoming talents. And it's not just, it says gifts being recognized, but it's not just your gifts and talents. I feel it's like your authentic you. You're starting to uncover that. You're starting to delight in who you are. And the transformation has begun. Your other overall energy is insight brings good times and opportunities. Today is a fresh start in my magical life. And I see this gypsy, has she got cards? Yeah, tarot reader. Love this card. It says good times in the flag. There's a sense here of knowing what you can't see. You know, tapping into our natural gifts and talents, becoming who we always were. Because we don't become somebody else. You know, when we say that we change, we don't put on different masks. We don't become something else. Basically what we're doing is we're peeling those layers of conditioning, those layers of what experiences, the experiences in our life and how they've shaped us and how we've allowed them to shape us. We peel that back. And in peeling that back, we discover who we are, the essence of ourself. And pole number 3, that's what you're doing here. I feel like you're diving deep into the unseen parts of you. The parts of you that you might be afraid to show. But you will. Today is a fresh start in my magical life, and life becomes magical when you walk in alignment. Now, I feel very drawn to say, pole number 3, It doesn't mean that when you discover your authentic self, that's it, you're done. Because there's always layers, there's always experiences, and there's always the expectations of others, the judgments of others, the judgments of ourselves, the future experiences that we're yet to experience. They continue to coat us. So being mindful is always peeling back the layers. So it's a journey of a lifetime. But I really feel you're stepping into you. And I don't feel that you've felt like this in a long time. Some of you, I'm just hearing, gosh, I used to love this as a child. You know, oh gosh, I used to dream of this as a child. There's this aspect of like, I forgot that aspect of myself. And I'm getting the word appropriate. And be mindful, poll number 3, because some of you might feel that this is not appropriate. You might feel that, well, it's okay when you're young, but at my age, we shouldn't be or act or dress like that anymore. Or, you know, there's something that I'm getting the word appropriate because Spirit keeps telling it to me. Appropriate, apply that if you're hurting another. Is it appropriate? But it's not to you. There's Spirit saying to me, allow poll number 3 to look into that. So I'm going to leave the message there. Look into it. This message doesn't resonate with all of you, but some of you, and just look at what that brings up for you. Okay. Now, Spirit's bringing me to the additional messages. We've got create family balance. And it says, the ties that bind also free. Now, family, I'm getting the sense here of the people that are close to you. So the people that you see quite regularly, not just family. Now, I'm getting the sense with this card is Spirit saying, really listen. Really listen. Because as you start to transform, you're going to, there's a chance that you will feel that the people around you might feel a little bit like, oh my God, what are you doing? Might have judgment on it. But Spirit's saying listen. Because I think that your judgment comes from you. This is so interesting, Spirit. Thank you. This is something that I learned a little while ago. We can have judgments on ourselves, and then we actually project that judgment onto others, and then we wonder why people judge us, but we've actually started that judgment ourselves. Spirit's asked me if I will share, and if you allow me, poll number 3, I'm just going to give you an example of that, which is my example of what I experienced. Now, when I got the calling to do a tarot reading, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. And I was so afraid. And then when I started doing it, if people said, oh, what do you do? I'd kind of be like, oh, I tried to, like, I felt uncomfortable. And I would say, oh, at the time I was in the process of writing books. It'd be like, oh yeah, I'm writing books, and yeah, I do tarot readings, but I could feel my voice drop, and I could almost feel myself recoiling. And now it feels so silly when I say that, but that's how I felt at the time. I felt embarrassed. I felt like, oh, people are going to think I'm so weird, or because I had taught myself to live in mainstream. You know, you get a job and you work up in the job and you get promoted and you earn money and you live the normal life. And that is beautiful, but that's not for all of us. And when I embarked on this unconventional life, I left my job behind. You know, it was like, what are you doing? Now, after time, and I'm talking probably a year, I actually suddenly found myself going, oh, I'm a tarot reader. I've got a YouTube channel. And people would be like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. That's so great. And one day I just went, wow, I'm not embarrassed. But you know what? Suddenly people weren't judging. They didn't go, oh, what are you doing for, like, how do you earn a living? How do you, oh my gosh, what are you doing? They were interested. They weren't judgy. And I feel this is what you're going to understand. I feel this is a lesson that's coming for you, pole number 3, is that sense that when you no longer judge yourself, people won't either, because we project that judgment onto others, and so then they mirror it back to us. When we're hesitant, that builds worry in others, especially in people that are close to us. Speak with loving kindness, words matter. And Spirit went, there it is. Do you speak about yourself? Do you speak about what you do? Do you speak about your dreams, goals and wishings with loving kindness? Because just as the story I just shared with you, words matter. The way you say things matters. The way you feel about yourself and what you do matters. And Spirit says it matters in a big way, pole number 3. You are going to notice changes in people around you, and you're going to maybe initially think, oh, I'm so glad they've come around to my way of thinking. They haven't. It's just that you have let go of your inner judgment of yourself, and then suddenly the outer world no longer judges you. And you know what? When you get to that place as well, pole number 3, even if you do have people in your life that still judge, it won't impact you. You'll barely notice it. I find with myself, I'm like, you know what, Christelle, that's not their journey. How can they possibly understand? And you won't be offended by it. You won't feel hurt by it. And you won't feel like there's a barrier between you two. You'll just be like, oh, there's an acceptance. There's an acceptance that there's different perspectives that don't gel, and that's all it is. Now, I feel with the tarot, Spirit saying to me, with the tarot is what happens once this happens. Your world changes. It's the end of a cycle. Now, that's not to say that suddenly everything's perfect. There's almost this sense of, in understanding everything that you're learning about yourself, your crafts, your natural gifts and abilities, allowing yourself to really embody who you are. There's this sense the world is the last of the major arcana cards, so it is the end of a journey. And it is the end of the journey where the lessons have been learnt, wisdom's been gained, there's real growth. And so with the world, I always feel that you go through the portal and then the portal closes behind you. There's no more lessons of that journey to revisit, or they might just be tiny little ones, but not big repeat cycles or anything like that. You won't be repeating a cycle. There might just be little reminders along the way, or just remember. Or there'll be instances that show you, like I was just saying, how when people I do receive judgment from others, it doesn't hurt me anymore. It just makes me go, wow, they can't understand. There's compassion and love. That's my journey. Of course it resonates with me. I can't expect it to resonate with them. It's not their journey. So that also keeps reminding me of, wow, not only how far I've come, but it shows me that I understand. I don't need people to agree with me because I agree with me. And this is a major arcana, so this is spirit guiding you. This is where spirit's guiding you to the next chapter, the next journey. And it's a big deal. Thank you. I was going to say it's a big thing, and spirit said it's a big deal. This is a big deal, pole number 3. Now, I was saying earlier, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect. And you've got the 7 of Pentacles. So in this understanding, it sets you free. It really, really does. You're going to feel a sense of freedom that I don't think you've felt in a long time. And the freedom comes from free to be you and to choose what resonates with you. So this will have you, the 7 of Pentacles is reevaluating what you're doing, reevaluating where you're at. And the 7 of Pentacles often shows that, okay, I've been cultivating this, but you know what? It's just become a lot of work. It doesn't resonate anymore. And there's this 1 pentacle here, and there's the decision in front of you, pole number 3, of do I keep going down this road and seeing if I can get more pentacles, or do I take this Ace of Pentacles and begin anew? And that choice is yours, my friend, but I feel that the 7 of Pentacles following the world, you are so different. You've tapped into your authenticity, and I feel that there's a new path in front of you. That's why this portal closes. You take what you've learnt, you take this authentic you, these gifts that you have, that you're starting to see, and I'm not saying that you see it all yet. And that's why sometimes we're tempted to stay in the past, because it's like, oh gosh, I've got 6 here. That's something. Am I really going to take this 1 pentacle and go with that? There's fear. There's uncertainty. There could be doubts. But there's also excitement. There's also, gosh, what if? There's this, you're being tantalized to move forward. That's the message I'm getting, pole number 3. It's tantalizing. It's got just enough information. It's got just enough spice to kind of make you go, oh, I just want to see where that goes. And you will, because you've got the 2 of Cups here, and this is The cups is fulfillment, and this is sharing that fulfillment with another or with others. And people that are different from you, these people dress quite differently because they show that everybody's different. But it shows alignment with others. It shows alignment on our path. It shows really good balance. And it shows that you're not going to do this on your own. Just because you're taking that one pentacle, it doesn't mean that you're going to be in lack. If anything, very quickly things come in for you. There'll be ideas, there'll be job offers, there'll be opportunities, there'll be people. So there's this sense that even though you're at the very beginning of something, I feel that very quickly Spirit is going to show you, oh, I did the right thing. Very quickly this one pentacle turns into the two cups. Pentacles are the tangible things of our world, and the cups is the fulfillment and the love. And here I think it's the love of what you do, the love that you share, the fulfillment that you feel. So I'm feeling like this goes from a 1 to a 2. So almost immediately you'll be shown that this path is true. You'll be shown that there's potential, there's opportunities, there's growth. So you won't feel like you've taken a leap and you've kind of gone backwards, because there's more fulfilling. It's not just more things. There's probably less things in your life, but the things that are there are so much more fulfilling that it just means more to you. It has more value to you. Thank you, Spirit. It has so much more value. Such an interesting reading, pole number 3. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 3. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome, welcome. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 9 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, and the Devil. As your overall energy, we have burdened by circumstances, and we have magical happenings, favorable circumstances. We have release what isn't working and value your uniqueness. Gosh, look at this blue and yellow. Your solar plex and your throat chakra. Now, Spirit's calling me straight to the tarot, so that's where we're going to start, my friends. And don't be worried about the cards, okay? Very interestingly enough, the zebra agate, it's a stone for it's good for building your memory, it's good for concentration, and it's good for remembering. Now I also feel that because there's black in it, it's also protection. And I feel like because of the white, I mean, I don't know if this is an attribute, but this is just how I feel because of the black and the white. The black is protective and the white is like light. So this protects your light. But the real one that's coming through is this concentration, this you're having a good memory, like being able to remember things, and also yeah, that concentration. There's going to be something that I feel like that's all got to do with your mind. And you got the swords here, and I feel like there's a sense here of pay attention to how you remember things, what you remember. There's a message in that. We'll come back to it. So we've got the tarot. We've got the 8 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, and the Devil. Okay, so pole number 4, I feel like you're starting energy, or you start this week or in your recent past there's been this energy of Spirit's just giving me, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? And I feel that with these swords, the swords is your mind, it's your intellect, it's wisdom, it's clarity, it's truth. And I feel there's a sense here that you're not seeing the truth in something. I'm even getting, you're not seeing the potential in something, and that something is you. You're not seeing your true self. You're not seeing your true potential. You're not seeing your true strength. Spirit's bringing me back to this zebra agate. Your memory of the past, the way you remember the past. Spirit's saying to me, it's only from one perspective. I feel like with this zebra agate, you're concentrating on past emotional turmoil, past experiences that created fear in you, doubt in you, mistrust. And as you move forward, as you try to move forward, it's almost like that's kind of all wrapped around you and it trips you over. Spirit is saying to me, and do you know what, just as I was going to say, I noticed this card has courage on it as well. Spirit saying to me, you don't realize how courageous you are. You don't realize how brave you are. And do you know, pole number 4, I think that people tell you this. Wow, you're so brave. Yet you don't feel that because you feel all your fears. You are experiencing your fears. So to you, you're not brave. But Spirit is calling you to see that you still move forward. Now, what happens if you let those memories fall away? What would happen? Our experiences are things that happen to us. They're not who we are. And Spirit's saying to me, you don't need to say any more. And I kind of went, are you sure? And Spirit said to me, pole number 4 already knows that. You know that. You're getting to a point, this is in the middle of your reading, you're getting to a point where what you know, you'll actually be able to embody. These 4 of Wands, to me it's always like a portal, like a door opens that leads you to another place, a place filled with joy and laughter and prosperity and happiness. And I feel that you're trying to get to this place. I feel like you know it exists. You're searching for it. You just want to get there. And Spirit just said to me, you're already there, pole number 4. You're standing right here. But there's this focused on the past that has such a hold of you that you just can't walk through. Because with the baggages of your past, you don't fit. This is not got anything to do with your physical, tangible world. This is everything that we carry with us, fogs our mind to the point that we don't see open doors. Spirit just said to me, what will it take? So pole number 4, I asked Spirit to clarify. So Spirit said, what will it take? And basically Spirit saying, pole number 4, what do you feel you need? Ask yourself, what do I need in order to feel like I'm in a better place, or in order to feel my strength, or in order to feel like I can move forward? What do I need? Because the energy that I'm getting from the devil is very interesting. Because it's almost like, then give yourself that. Now, Spirit just said to me, you may need an apology. You might need a wrong to be righted. You might need more finances. You might need different people in your life. Spirit just said to me, you might feel you needed a different childhood or different life experiences. Spirit saying to me, pole number 4, you don't need anything from another. You don't need things to be different. You feel that way. And gosh, we've all been there, don't we? We've all been there, and we've all been like, well, I just can't seem to move past this. I just can't. I know that I need to, but I don't know how to. If you find yourself with unhealed trauma, don't be afraid to seek help. There's also a sense here, pole number 4, that what you need from another, give to yourself. Forgiving yourself. When we forgive ourselves, it's actually quite interesting this. I had an experience with this. But when we forgive ourselves, and the part that we played, or when we forgive ourselves for holding on to something that we know we should have been able to let go of, suddenly the forgiveness we were seeking from somebody else seems to fall away. It's an interesting energy, and it really, I'm not going to share the story behind it, but it really surprised me when I went through it. It was this, gosh, you know, that's all I needed. Don't underestimate. We are often very quick to blame. If this hadn't happened, this would have happened, and if that didn't happen, this would have happened, and blah, blah, blah. And we all do that, pole number 4. But that's how we keep ourselves bound. You know, when we can go, right, do you know what? And I'll actually say to myself, oh, Christelle, badly done. I don't beat myself up. I just think to myself, oh, that was badly done. And then I forgive myself. And I go, I'm so grateful I saw that. Wow, I can see that. And I can be honest with myself enough to see that. And so there isn't this, I don't berate myself. It doesn't knock me down. It lifts me up. And, you know, often the situation's gone before we can apologize. If we can, we apologize. And if it's going to open up old wounds, just send the energetic apology. You'll be surprised how energy travels. Spirit's calling me to mention the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer, and I mention that every now and again. And I'm going to butcher the way you say it, so my apologies, but it's the Ho'oponopono, and it goes, just let me think. It goes, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you just keep repeating it. And I say this to myself, like when I want to forgive myself, and when I want to send or ask for forgiveness of others, I just send it energetically out there. It's really powerful, like really powerful. And your throat might catch on the I love you part, or it might catch on one of the sentences, but just keep trying. It really opens you up. It's actually really, really amazing. So Spirit's actually drawing me to that, because with this Devil card, pole number 4, there's a sense here that you're bound by your own chains. It's you that keeps you small. And Spirit doesn't want you to be small. Spirit wants you to thrive. Like really thrive. There's a real sense here that, pole number 4, don't let the past hold you back. There is such a beautiful future ahead of you that it's time to release. And I'm going to come to the additional messages, because you've got release what isn't working, let go and live beyond. Oh my gosh, I just got tingles all over. Look at the yellow, like the same, like the yellow of this 4 of Wands. Go through the portal, just let it go. And that's not easy. Like I said earlier, pole number 4, if you need assistance, go seek it. There's a lot of people that we can connect with, both professionally and you know, personally. Just, you know, if you've got a really good friend that you know that you can just talk to and they'll just listen. But But there's a sense here of release what isn't working, understand what isn't working for you, and then just let it go. Do you know, Spirit just gave me an image of somebody grabbing a dandelion and then just blowing on it and watching it just go into the wind. I'm not sure if that might be helpful for you. You know, imagine the dandelion being in different situations, different beliefs, different aspects of yourself, different people, whatever it is, pole number 4, and just blow it away. I also like that image as well because Spirit actually said there's seeds that you're blowing away. So you're kind of assisting by letting things go. You're assisting them to go where they need to be and to grow where they need to be. And Spirit's calling me, for some of you this could be romantic love, for some of you not at all. But Spirit's kind of saying, you know, if you're in a relationship and, you know, you've tried and they've tried and, you know, you've put work into it and it just isn't working. You just, even though effort is put in and love's put in, it's just, there's just something that's not working. Release each other. It allows you to find the love you deserve, and it allows that person to find the love that they deserve. Or even it might just be the freedom, the space. Releasing is not a bad thing. We think that letting go is giving up. Sometimes it's exactly the opposite. Let go, it says, and live beyond. And then you've got value your uniqueness. The world awaits you. What a card to follow this let go and live beyond. The world awaits you. There's this world on the other side of this portal that's going, hello, pick me, pick us. And I know that's making light. And it's difficult when we can't see that. It's difficult when it's like, well, I don't see where the world's waiting for me. I don't see the opportunities. And Spirit just said to me, pole number 4, that's okay because you're not there yet. There's still understanding to come. And that understanding hasn't been reached yet. Everything in its own time. You know, sometimes we try to rush things. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Spirit just drew my eye. Oh gosh, and just to the 10 as well. So we've got 28 here, which is a 10, which is the completion in the tarot. It's the end of a cycle. And the 10 in numerology goes back to a 1, which is the beginning, a new beginning. Fresh start. And then we've got 34 here, which is a 7 in numerology. And we're working a 7 year this year. And 7 is a very spiritual number. It's us tapping into our spirituality. And there's a sense that you've been working through this all 2023. And it may take to the end of 2023 to finally be able to release. Or maybe you're doing all the releasing now, pole number 4, and the world will open up to you in 2024. But there's a sense here that things take time, because sometimes we know what we need to do. We know the way that we're hindering our progress. We know the way that we're not helping ourselves, basically. Sometimes it's very difficult to actually change, to actually find the right way, to actually, and not the right way, but find our way. Now, interestingly enough, we're ending your reading with the overall energies. And your first overall energy is burdened by circumstance. And the affirmation is, I heal with courage and stand up to injustice. Now with this card, Spirit is saying to me, be mindful of how you do that. Standing up to injustice, I feel in your reading, is this release. Release what isn't working, let go and live beyond. I feel there's a space of needing to allow things to be and needing to allow things to just be let go of. There's no fighting here. I feel the fighting's in the past, but you're burdened, and we see that with the devil and this 8 of Swords. We see that with release what isn't working. There's a great time of healing, pole number 4. There is a great time of healing. And Spirit's just brought me back to the crystal. Pay attention to what you're concentrating on. I feel that your mind is very focused on past injustice that's been done to you, or that you've seen or experienced, and they're burdening you very much so in your life at the moment, pole number 4. And I love the way we finish your reading, because the other overall energy is magical happenings, favorable circumstances. Today is luckier than yesterday. Now look at this. You've got burdened. You have burdened. Oh, sorry, I'm going to hold it up so you can see. You've got burdened by circumstances, or burdened by circumstance, and you've got magical happenings, favorable circumstance. Today is luckier than yesterday. Pole number 4, if the only message you take away from this is, I need to release the past, your world is going to flip. Your life is going to be chalk and cheese, and you're going to be like, what? I didn't even really do anything. We often don't realize the impact of our past on our present life, because it's so part of us that we don't really see the impact. And it's probably been a part of you, pole number 4, for such a long time. You just don't see how that and only that is holding you back. Do you know, pole number 4, I just got the words, you know, some of you are not actually releasing people or situations. Actually, Spirit just said the majority of you are not releasing people or situations. You've already done that. You've got to now release. Sorry, thank you, Spirit. You don't have to do anything, pole number 4. I do apologize. You're being drawn to look at how you're still attached to those situations, even though they're not there yet anymore. I feel like there's so much magic around you. I think there's so much possibility. The middle of you, I mean, look at this yellow and this blue. This is your solar plex. This is coming into your power. This is your throat chakra. This is how you listen and how you speak. And look at this yellow. In the middle of all this, you've got this 4 of Wands, which is amazing. It's an amazing card. And normally I start with the overall energy and sort of end with either these cards, but I very, very rarely end the reading with the overall energy because to me it's the overall energy. But Spirit guided this. Spirit always guides my readings. And you end the reading with today is luckier than yesterday. Let yesterday go, my friends. There's magic around you, and you know, Spirit just said to me, pole number 4, just wait till you see the magic in you. I'm going to leave you with those messages. Pole number 4, love, light and blessings. Take good care of yourself. That was a difficult reading, so take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.